Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Middleware Technologies. Today we will be looking at how we can utilize the Open Distro Elasticsearch services using the REST API call. In our last video, we have seen how we can install or set up Open Distro Elasticsearch and Kibana services using the Docker Compose file. So we will be using the same thing in this video to set up our Elasticsearch and Kibana service. But on top of that, we will see some of the basic operations like indexing, getting the cluster information, and querying the documents within the Elasticsearch cluster using the REST API services call. As you all know, OpenDistro Elasticsearch is used for analyzing and indexing large set of datasets. It can be used for various types of applications like capturing the real-time data, clustering data, log data. All this data can be captured and analyzed using the Kibana visualization, and they can be indexed using the Elasticsearch for quick search operations. So in this video, let's see how we can use Elasticsearch API services call with basic operations. Okay, so this is the quick reference that I am going to follow. So in this video, I am going to use one of the tool, we can say one of the software that is Postman, which is used for API build and testing the API services. So Postman is the tool which we can download it from the portal. You will be getting a tar file which we can download and extract onto our local system. So this is a URL wherein you can go and download the Postman services API tool. So this is the download page where you can get the Postman application. Okay, so you can download for your compatible operating system, like whether you're using Windows or on the next machine. Based on that, you can download the Postman API tool. Once that is done, you can extract the package. So right now I have extracted the package over here. So this is the executable that we need to run to utilize the Postman API. So for that purpose, there is a quick shortcut that we can prepare, like the desktop application shortcut, by creating this postman.desktop file in the local shared application folders. So this is the desktop entry application that we have created, which will execute the following utility or executable Postman. So once you have created this file, you can see the icon in your search, the Postman tools icon. So let me launch this. Okay, so this is the Postman API interface that we can utilize to verify our API services. Like we can test our API services, we can build the API services using this tool. So let me show you some of the basic operations that we can carry out. So it is very easy to carry out the REST API services call using the Postman tool rather than using the curl commands. So we will be going through both the styles, like how we can utilize our Linux shell and execute the REST API services call using the curl commands and the same operations that we can carry out using the open source tool, that is Postman API. So let me go into my reference. So right now we have downloaded the Postman API tool, and we have extracted and created the shortcut, that is a desktop icon. So now let us go and launch our Elasticsearch and Kibana services using the Docker Compose file. So this is the Docker Compose file that I am using, like we have seen already in our previous video. It contains two nodes of Elasticsearch cluster, that is ODFE node 1, ODFE node 2. Along with that, we are launching the Kibana service. So let me go through, let me start my cluster. So for that purpose, we need to make sure our Docker services is up and running. Okay, so I have started my Docker service. Now let me launch my Elasticsearch and Kibana Docker Compose file. Okay. Now our Elasticsearch cluster along with the Kibana service is up and running. How we can validate it? Basically, in our last video we have seen like we can run a curl command and fetch the cluster information. Let me show you how we can run it using the curl command first. So this is the curl command which we ran in our previous video to verify whether the cluster is up and running, like on port 9200. So let me copy this command and show you what exactly we are trying out. So we are passing the method that is get onto the REST API service, that is slash using the user admin and password, and this is insecure. Basically we are asking the curl command not to verify the SSL certificate that we are passing. So let me execute this, and as you can see we have got the cluster information. That is, cluster name is ODFE cluster and the cluster version details are available over here. The same thing which we carried out using the curl command can be carried out using the Postman. So let me show you how easy it is to use the Postman API. So if you want to create another request, like a curl request, so simply you can click on this view more actions here. We need to click on this view more actions, add request. So you will get this interface wherein you can select the method which we want to use and the URL, the REST API URL, and you can configure the authorization. Basically, if you want to inherit the authorization from the parent, you can use this one. Like I have authorization set up at this cluster collection level, so I'm using the basic authorization, username, password. But if you want to override that, you can set it at the request level. So you can go into the authorization, select basic authorization, and you can provide the credentials over here. And if you want to pass any specific header parameters, like what type of data we are sending, like content type or any other HTTP headers, that you can set here. And this is the body part which we want to send along with the curl command. So here you can send it in various formats like form data, XML, raw, and if you select the raw, it will show like what is the type of data we want to send. Is it the text format, JavaScript, JSON format, or HTML, etc. So these are the various types of formats that we can send and the raw data with the command, with our HTTP request basically. Okay. So this is how you can create a request, and you can save this request for future reference. Okay. And one more thing is, like, this is actually a collection that I have prepared. So similar way you can create a new collection. You launch the tool, you will get a new collection automatically, but you can rename this here like this, and you can add your HTTP requests which you want to test using the add request. Okay. So let me go through some of the basic operations that I have prepared and kept it in the collection. So this is the test operation that we will verify, that we will try to verify the cluster information. So this is the get command, get post, get request that we are carrying out on the API to get the cluster information, whether it is up and running. Okay. And you can see the authorization is basic authorization. I have set it to override the parent configuration. So let me try to send this request. So as you can see, we have got the output in the below format, that is pretty format. But if you want to see it in the JSON format, you can select this JSON format or raw or preview mode. So there are various ways you can get this information output in the below section. So this is how you can create a request, create a collection, new collection, and add your requests and prepare your API call. Okay. So this is the first thing that we can verify or test whether the cluster is up and running. Let me go into my next request, that is list nodes. So here I am going to pass cat nodes. So this is verbose parameter that I am passing to get more informative details about the nodes. So this is a get post, get HTTP request that we are going to pass or send. So let me send this request. As you can see, I have set up two cluster nodes, that is elastic nodes, OD, FE, node 1 and node 2. You can see all the details about the two nodes, their IP address, their heap, percentage used CPU load in 1 minute, 5 minutes and 15 minutes. So these are all the information that you get when you run the nodes REST API call to get the nodes information. So similarly, if you want to verify what plugins are installed in your cluster, you can run this API request, that is underscore cat plugins verbose. So this is also a get HTTP request wherein we will get the plugins that are currently installed in our cluster. So as you can see, so these are all cluster plugins that are currently installed. If you go with the Elasticsearch software, you will not get the alerting, SQL, monitoring, and performance analyzer. All these plugins are not installed by default, but security plugins are not installed by default. But these are some of the plugins that are automatically installed as a part of security in the Open Distro package. So now we have verified our cluster, like we have verified whether the cluster is up and running. We have verified what nodes are set up as a part of this cluster and their details, and we have also verified what plugins are currently installed in our cluster. The next thing is, like, basically what we are using the Elasticsearch for. we're using Elasticsearch for indexing the documents or indexing the data that we are going to capture using the logstash or any other source, and we want to analyze the data, visualize the data, we want to index the data and search it. So there are some basic operations that we can carry out with Elasticsearch. So let me show you this first operation, that is indexing a document. So as you can see, the HTTP method here is put. So I am going to put a document into the Elasticsearch cluster to index it. Okay, so here we need to pass the index. Document type is by default _doc in the new version of Elasticsearch, Open Distro Elasticsearch, and the document ID. And the parameters that we are going to pass right now is none. Authorization I am inheriting it from the parent level, that is I am using the collection authorization set at the collection level. And body, we are we are putting this JSON document, JSON formatted document into our cluster for indexing purpose. Okay, so if I go into send this request, so you see that I am able to index this document, like the index name is movies, document type is _doc, ID is 1, but version is 8 because I have already created multiple versions of this document in this cluster, so the version number is showing as 8, but if you are going to run it for the first time, your version is going to be 1. Okay. So this is the basic indexing operation that you can carry out using the REST API. But let me show you how. If you are going to run the same thing using the curl command, so it's going to be a bit difficult because you need to prepare this JSON document and you need to pass it using the option, and also you need to set up the header, like content type header and all those things in your curl command. Okay, so let me run this command and show you. So this is a curl command that we are going to run to index a document, the same document that we have indexed using the Postman tool. So let me run it. So as you can see, right now I am using the document ID as 3, so there is no document with that ID, so it has created that document and inserted with version 1, that is the first version that we are inserting. Let me show you the JSON content also. So this is the JSON content which we are putting it into the cluster for indexing purpose. So this is the way that you can run using the curl command, but it will be easy if you are going to use the Postman API service to execute your REST API calls. Okay, so let me go into the other operation that we can carry out. Like once you have inserted the document, the most basic operation that we want to carry out is search the document. So this is the search API service call that we can carry that we can run. That is, we need to pass the index and the _search context to search the documents. Okay, so once you run it, it will show the hits. The total number of hits value is 2, so it is able to find 2 documents, and you can get the list of hits. That is, this is first document that it has found, and this is the second document that it has found in the index. Okay, so if you want to basically filter, so you can pass the parameters like q is equal to, let me search for a string. Let me search for the string. So you see, like once you have added this parameter q is equal to seconder, basically it has added this query parameters q value seconder over here, as you can see. So it automatically adds over here. If you are not comfortable putting the parameters over here, you can always add the parameters in this section. So you can provide the key, provide the value. If you want to provide the description, you can provide that also, and execute the request. So now you can see the total number of hits value is 1. That means we are able to filter only one document with that string, and that is this title document. So this is the basic operation that you can carry out. You can index a document, we can search for a document, and this is for deleting the document. So let's say you want to delete a particular document that was indexed. So you can pass the index name underscore doc and the doc ID, that is index ID, and it will be deleting that document. So let me try to delete this document with document ID 3. So as you can see, the result is deleted, successful. So if you go and search for documents again, so let me remove this parameter. So now I have the document ID with 3, but there is no document ID with 2, but the document ID with number 3 has been deleted. So this is how you can do an index operation, search operation, and delete operation using the REST API service call. So these are the basic operations that we can carry out. But it is obviously easy to use this Postman API tool, so that you can reduce your work efforts of preparing the JSON file or preparing the curl command and all those things. So this is the cluster settings. Like let's say you have set up the cluster. This is basically more of an administrator API service call. Like basically a system administrator wants to know what type of cluster has been set up, so we can run this API service call which retrieves or fetches the cluster settings. So let me run this one. So you can see there is a lot of information related to the cluster, like persistent, transient, and default settings of the cluster that are retrieved. So this is something system admin is interested in looking at the information. So we can run this cluster settings slash. So include underscore defaults is equal to true parameter basically means we want to see the default settings of the clusters also. So these are some of the operations I have shown you, but let me show you one more operation related to indexing, but this is for bulk documents. Okay. So bulk documents, this, let's say if you want to index multiple documents with a single request, so how we can do? So for that purpose we need to pass this context data underscore bulk, and we need to provide the body with these documents content. Okay, so for that, the first line, it should be the header line, which contains the index name and index ID, and the second one is the JSON document that we are going to set. So here I have kept two documents. So first is the header information, the document. Then the next is the header information and the document. Okay. So let me run this command, or let me execute the REST API call. As you can see, it has indexed the two documents. Okay, so looks the status looks good. So it has indexed the document using the multi-doc operation. So these are some of the basic operations that you can carry out, and there are a lot of other API service call that you can do with at the cluster level, at the index level. You can set up the users, like create users, create roles, map users to roles. So let me show you. The link. I'm having it already in my reference document. Let me open that one. Okay, so this is the Elasticsearch REST API reference, which you can utilize to gather the information or carry out the REST API service calls on the index on the cluster level. So you can go through this reference document and understand what type of operations that we can carry out using the Elasticsearch cluster. So this is all I wanted to show you in this video. Basically, the intention of this video is to show you how we can utilize the Postman API service to carry out our REST API service calls for the Elasticsearch cluster. Like there are a lot of API service calls that we can carry out. It gets complex when we want to run some queries or when we want to index multiple documents, so it is not going to be easy for you to carry out using the curl command. But if you are going to use the Postman API tool, it will be very easy for you to get the HTTP request completed with ease. Okay, so thank you all. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you got some information on the Elasticsearch REST API calls and how we can use it using the Postman API tool. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for watching this video, and you have a great day.